Good morning, everyone. My name is Okeke John Paul. I'm a final year student at the Southeastern University of Applied Sciences, ZAMC, Kotka campus, nursing student. I had the privilege to go for a practical internship program in Tallinn, Estonia, for a period of 1 month. That was from the 4th of August up until the 29th of August 2025. For the practical arrangements before the exchange, I had to go online on the application of Soul Move and put in the application. This is done when the required authorities in school give the information that you can apply from such and such time, or they give like a time frame where students who intend to go for placements can tender their applications. So when this was done, I had to put in my application on Soul Move. And I also informed the teacher in charge by sending an email or to meet face to face, since she's like nursing teacher. Secondly, for the practical arrangements during the exchange period, I was supposed to go, or I went to Tallinn. That's the capital of Estonia. The living conditions in Tallinn compared to Finland is quite the same. With respect to, they have identical shops. For example, we have Prisma and other kinds of shops, and the grocery commodities are almost from the same kind of family. The living condition was okay, to say the least. I had an apartment at the heart of the city. It was a shared apartment. It had 6 rooms. I went about this accommodation by getting on Facebook to find like possible accommodations. In the beginning, it was so difficult to find myself an accommodation. Yeah, because Tallinn has different procedures to get accommodation, unlike Finland or unlike Helsinki or Kotka. In Tallinn, what happened was I got the I got the websites to apply for accommodation, but this was virtually impossible because almost all the landlords wanted like longer term rentals. They didn't want a rental for 1 month. So I had to lease from Facebook, and I had to always be on check. For the pricing, the accommodation was like the same pricing. I paid over 400 euros, about 500 euros for accommodation and utilities for just a room. And I had a shared kitchen and a shared toilet, 2 shared toilets with 6 other people. The host institution and organization were very welcoming. The host institution, which is Tallinn Tartu University of Applied Sciences, was really welcoming. They sent me a couple of emails, asked a couple of times how I was doing, how the internship was moving on. Yeah. And the host organization, which was the Last Day Haigla, that's like the children's hospital in Tallinn, located at Tervesi. They were so welcoming. I was at the Osasto, the ward. Osasto is the ward in English for ward. I was at the children's intensive care unit ward, and I had like 2 head nurses there, and they were so welcoming. We had a good team. I had 2 supervisors during my training, and they were so good. They had vast knowledge of what they had, what to do. They have been working in the unit for so long. Vast experience under their belt. Yeah. The studies and placements. Before booking a placement, you had to send your transcript of records in school to ascertain your number of credits and if you have done the course required. In school, I had already completed the course for intensive care, Tehohoito. So I sent my transcript and I was deemed eligible for this placement. The content level of the course and everything about the course theoretically, which was studied at Kotka, was up to date and well standard. But I was going to the children's hospital, so I had to deal with kids who were like 24, 26 weeks old, who were just born, or kids who have, say, different kinds of medical conditions. It was a bit challenging, but the study methods and the teaching was the same with Finland. It was more about using your hands and incorporating like the theoretical skills with the hands-on skills. And it's all about the nursing in general, like getting to do what you have always done and making sense of what you already know. The expectation I had was like it was going to be so intense and a lot of work, but the reality was, if you already know what to do and you know the basics and you already know your way around the machines, like the infusion pumps, preparing arterial blood, how to do all the arterial processes and every other theoretical process. If you already had the hands-on knowledge about this, it became so easy. And also the supervisors were always willing to teach. Things were shown, like the first, if they want to tell you to take a sample, they're going to show you first. Then the next time that same client or that same patient requires that sample to be taken away from them, you as the intern was going to get yourself into the equation and carry out that task. So I did a lot of tasks, I did a lot of things. I really liked my time there. Yeah, I studied a lot. I asked a lot of questions and I got a lot of answers. I also got tools to help me understand certain situations. Like so many things were sent to me via email in order to help my understanding of the course I was studying. In terms of the culture shock and living in a new culture and living with people, I myself have lived in Finland for 8 to 9 years. So it's almost the same kind of culture. There were more cultural similarities than differences with Estonia, to say the least. I interacted with so many other students, especially at the lodge where I stayed. I lived in the same place with so many students, six of us. So we had like several activities, social activities, which was so cool. With those at work, the workers, it was already so nice because nursing is an interactive profession, so you have to interact with the workers, and they always were careful and always like they showed a lot of care, asking what are you going to do for the weekend, what are your plans, where have you visited in Tallinn. It was so welcoming. I really enjoyed that. They gave suggestions of what they think I could like, hey, do you like this? Okay, try to visit this place. I got those kind of things like on a regular. Every week, every Friday, I knew I would get suggestions of where to visit. Yeah, so it was so cool. There were a lot of cultural similarities, like same like in Finland. No difference, no huge differences, I can say. The main cultural shock for me as an intern at the Children's Hospital in Tallinn was the shift length, the Voro length. In Finland, we regularly have like normal shift, which last 7 to 8 hours, depending on what sector you are in the healthcare. Like there's Amuvoro and there's Iltavoro, which is morning shift and night shift, and evening shift, and then we have night shift. Morning shift runs from 7 to 14 or 15 o'clock, and evening shifts runs from 13 or 14 o'clock to 21 o'clock. Then we have night shifts that runs from 21 till the next morning at 7. But surprisingly, in Tallinn, we had 12-hour shift and 24-hour shift. So it's either you're doing 12-hour shift or you're doing 24-hour shift. From 8 to 8 in the evening or from 8 to 8 o'clock the next morning. Yeah, this was like very big shock to me. I had I have never seen this kind of thing before. I asked them how they manage, but apparently they have been doing that since Adam. So they already used to. Yeah, that was my biggest shock in terms of working in the multicultural environment, like and also working in a different culture. That was really shocking to me to discover. And what I learned about myself during this process of 4 weeks was I am good at what I do. Yeah, I think I have, with the help of my teachers in Kotka, I have amassed a lot of knowledge in nursing. So I was able to really represent my school and represent myself in terms of the theoretical based knowledge. And then I really got to practice a lot with my hands, and I overcame a lot of fear I had, like with patients, especially kids, administration of medications. Medical calculation is already like part of my strong suit. So expressing myself and dosing medications, especially for kids, you have to always calculate because medications come in larger doses in packages. So we always had to calculate based on the specific child's needs. Yeah, so it was really, I learned, I actually was proud of myself that I know a lot about myself. I was confident in what I do. I had my head high. Yeah, that was so good. And all thanks to my teachers and to myself and to the environment in Finland that really helped me. Couldn't I couldn't really assess myself if I was in Finland, because in Finland I would just know like, but when you go out there and you see that you are thriving, you're doing well, then you actually know like, yeah, I've done a lot of work back home. The exchange period was so cool. It had like good value. It was 4 weeks, but it felt like 8 weeks. There was a lot to learn. I didn't struggle because it's not my first exchange. So I hit the ground running from the first week, unlike my other exchange programs where I was like trying to fit in. But now I know what is required when you go abroad. You have to be there. You have to be on point. So I just got into motion immediately from day one. So it was so cool with friends, with social settings, and with colleagues. I knew what to do. I really understand how to work in a multicultural environment, how to see myself, how to express myself. I understand that nursing profession, you have to be a team player. Nursing profession is odorless. You always have to be clean. Your hygiene is cool. It has to be on point. It has to be good. You don't have to have fragrances because of allergies, or you have to respect the space of your colleagues. You just have to appear. You have to look the part. Yeah. So it was. I already knew this already coming in, so it made it easier for me. Advice I'm going to give to my peers is, I live in Finland, and I have lived here for some time. I have a car, and Tallinn is like stone throw from Helsinki. I travel to Tallinn with my own car, so moving around Tallinn was easy for me. Driving to places after work to maybe take my laptop to study at the parks, to study in the parks was okay. I was in Tallinn during the month of August, and thankfully for me, the sun was shining on a regular basis. So I was there. I will advise peers to start on time to look for accommodation, because I got my accommodation like 10 days before traveling to Tallinn. I looked for accommodation for like 4 months, 4 months, and it was virtually impossible. I got my accommodation like 10 days before going to Tallinn. That was like very hectic for me and stressful. And I also advise my peers to always be in contact with the appropriate administration at Kotka Zamk, because they are the ones who answer all their questions and tell them what to do with respect to so many things. And if there's any difficulties in Tallinn, they should also contact the host institution. Yeah, because I had a lot of contacts with the host institution. Not like I had problems, but they were always like asking me like, "Hey, hope everything is okay." Yeah. In the end, I want to thank everybody who made this possible. Thank my teachers, thank the administration in ZAMK, the administration at Tartu University of Applied Sciences, Estonia. Thank the host who had me, that's Laste Haigla, the Children's Hospital Intensive Care Unit in Tallinn. Yeah, and thank you to North Plus for making this possible.